say that across all of our former divisions of Macy's, we recently restructured, as you may have heard in the news, but we had about 5 divisions, and in each division, the pride groups were the first groups to start. And in every division, even though other groups would start later, other groups would always have more attendance at meetings, more enrollment. And the question, like, why does this get started first, but then nobody wants to come to the meetings? And there's a very real challenge there when it comes to getting people to come to the meetings, because there is a perception that if you do, you're outing yourself. Whether or not you're lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, that you're outing yourself somehow. We had an inaugural event for our Pride Employee Resource Group that was called Coming Out for Coffee. It was held around Coming Out Day. It was very similar to a poster board idea, getting folks to sort of get in a room and just have some comfort around talking about, these are our famous people who are out, people who are sharing their own stories about coming out. And of course, there was coffee and cookies, so everybody get together on that. But the interesting thing was we're sending out notes. I'm, again, the partner sending out notes to various parts of the organization. I reach out to our diversity advocates and our people in human resources to come to this event. And it's a blind carbon copy, so everyone can feel secure that I'm not putting any specific names on there. And yet there were 3 straight allies, 2 of which were from human resources, who identified themselves as straight allies and said, "Why did you send this to me? Why do you think?" Well, what is this implying? I'm like, it's not implying anything. You're a BCC, I've BCC'd a lot of people. But it's to support the event. Oh, okay, absolutely, I'll be there. It's interesting to know that there was that level of concern about, oh, well, what happens if I go and who's going to be in the room? So there is something very real to get through about the concern. I would like to say I'm immune to that. I'm not that evolved, and I'm not immune to it. I think that as an ally, and certainly as a diversity professional, there is a sense of always coming out in some weird kind of space. Especially I'm involved. We have 6 employee resource groups. I'm involved in all of them. I go to all the events. I believe in what they're doing. Our Pride group was having for holidays support of the Gay Men's Health Crisis Christmas wrapping. A lot of different employee resource groups were involved. I happened to be a member of the Urban League Young Professionals, which was having an event that night. I said, well, can you come to the event? No, I can't. I'm going to gift wrapping at the Gay Men's Health Crisis. And that's where I stopped. And I'm thinking to myself, and she's looking at me, and I'm looking at her, and she's looking at me, and she's thinking, oh. And I could see it on her face. And I'm thinking, okay, I could probably guess what you're thinking, but I'm not going to go there with you. And there's a lot of conversations like that. If you're an advocate, especially if you're passionately committed, if you're not married, which a lot of people are like, well, what's Leo's deal? What's his story? He seems really engaged. I wonder. And and they won't say anything about it. So there is this kind of thing, and you can either deal with that, and you're always carrying a little bubble inside of your head that says, by the way, I'm straight. Or you just deal with the fact that if you are an advocate and an ally, you're standing up for people, people are going to have those kinds of thoughts and questions about you. And that's just part of what you deal with, and you understand that that's part of what people who are members of the community have to deal with all the time.